At Dave Cooper Live, we connect the industry leaders in the architectural, engineering, and construction space with the people, the products, and the processes to help them build it better. What if one of the biggest limitations in modular construction has never been the factory at all, but the trailers underneath the building itself? Because for all the progress this industry has made in manufacturing, automation, and design, transportation still puts real limits on what modular can become. Height restrictions, safety concerns, staging challenges, cribbing costs, logistic headaches, and systems that have not evolved nearly enough. So today's conversation is about a product that may challenge that entire model. Joining us are Daryl Snader, owner of Specialized Transportation Enterprises, and Heath Sartini, owner of Viking Enterprises, to talk about Uni-Frame, an integrated structural floor system and transportation platform designed to allow modular units to be built, moved, and installed as one unified system. In simple terms, the structure becomes the transport system. That could mean lower transport height, greater design freedom, safer hauling, stronger structural integration, faster offloading, and better logistics for everything from HUD, residential modular, to multifamily, hospitality, student housing, and data centers. If this works at scale, it could do more than improve transportation. It could remove transport-driven constraints from modular design and delivery altogether. But before we get into any or all of this, we need to have a few words from our supporting members. Brought to you by Greatech, developers of the complete light gauge steel and wood framing software for Revit StruxSoft. Offsite, modular, or prefabricated, StruxSoft Framer turns Revit into a powerful manufacturing tool, automating every step of the DFMA process from design to final delivery. StruxSoft doesn't just work with Revit, it transforms it. Jumpstart your designs at StruxSoftSolutions.com. Halleck Ltd. has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and producing innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the United States and the world. Check out their machine buyer's guide for offsite modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing. Go to their website, halleckltd.com. When the delivery can't fail, standard transportation isn't enough. Oversized, time-critical, high-risk, Specialized Transportation supports advanced projects nationwide, from data centers to the delivery and set of homes and offices. With more than 60 years of experience, we've transported over 60,000 projects, served more than 200 U.S. cities, and logged over 70 million miles. When failure isn't an option, Choose the leader in specialized transportation. All right. Again, thank you to all of our supporting members, to include all the ones you see in the ticker down below. We'd love for your support. We'd love for you to join us. And by the way, if you want to be a guest on our show and you're doing something innovative, you're doing something that's changing how we build, there's a QR code right up there. Take out your phone, take a picture, sign up, and we'll take a look at it. See if you make the cut to be on the Dave Cooper Live show. All you got to be doing is something better than how we've been doing it. And that is what today's show is all about. So without further ado, let's bring on our two guests today. All right, Daryl, Snader, Heath, Sartini, how are you guys today?
Doing excellent.
Good.
I love it. I love it. So, hey, Daryl, Specialized Transportation is a sponsor of the show, and I want to get this out of the way right away. This is not a paid for advertisement. We don't pay to play. This show's invite only, but you guys are doing something that really could change the modular industry. And that's what's so great about this. And this is what I love about our supporting members as well. They're not just in it. They're in it to make it better. And that's what this show is all about. So welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I love it. All right, Heath, you have not been on the show before. So we want to know everything about you, Heath. In fact, we want to know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we're going to have a family member on. And I bet there's some stories to tell, but you only have about a minute to do it. And then Daryl will get back to you for a brief intro and have at it. The floor is yours, Heath.
All right. I was born in Northern California, been in Utah for the last 50 years. We owned a factory in the early 70s. My dad sold that, started recycling axles and tires. Did that until around 2007. Knew we needed another transportation device to replace axles and tires, and that's when I started the development of Viking carrier. I have HUD approval. The only other device that has HUD approval is, besides mobile home axles and tires, is my device, which is the Viking carrier. Own 4 or 5 retail tire stores in southern Utah. My sons run those now, and wow, here we are trying to figure something new out. And that's where I'm at now.
Here you are in the Dave Cooper Live show. That's where you're at. I love it. Wow. So it's a family business all the way through, huh?
Yep.
Got it. Love it, love it, love it. And yes, I think most people out there in this industry know all about Viking carriers. So appreciate everything that you have done for the industry so far and what you're about to do for us moving forward. Daryl, you've been on the show. Just give us the brief summary of your background, and then we're going to hop right into it.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of like Heath, grew up in the business. My father's been a retail mobile and modular home dealer, transporter, started transporting in 68. I literally grew up in a truck. Literally just my whole life. So kind of been in this industry forever. Enjoy it, watched it progress. I'm looking to take hopefully this Uni-Frame system. I really feel we're going to take a big step forward in how we do things and just do it better. So we need it.
We do need it. Something else has to change, right? And we kind of mentioned that a little bit in the opening monologue. The innovation's happening in the factory, but we still have all the constraints of leaving that factory and getting to a job site like New England, California, where the bridges were built back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and they're only 12 feet high, 14 feet high. It limits what the industry can do, and everybody has to design around it versus designing what the client may actually want or what the job may want. So I'm excited about this. Uniframe. Let's talk about why you guys felt there was a need to make this change. You're in the transportation business already. You guys have a good portion probably of the business that's out there and what you're doing. What are you seeing as the problem?
Well, I think just what you just said, the design limitations. I have customers all the time that are like, hey, we need to find a way to go higher. I'm like, you can't, I can't raise bridges. Like there's nothing I can do to go higher. So obviously the opposite is go lower. And, that's really kind of a few years ago, I was like, I got to find a way. And I've, been trying myself, but then Heath, brought us on and the team that we're working with really had a great idea how to do that. So, we can just give the factories and the end customer, whether it's a hotel, apartments, dorms, residential, give them that extra 2+ feet of height is huge. I mean, just absolutely, it is huge. So yeah.
So it's even more than just the height, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we're going to get into this, how should, and Heath, maybe you want to answer this. How should, the industry, the manufacturing of modular industry, whether it's data centers, housing, commercial, how should they be thinking of Uniframe differently than a traditional carrier?
It offloads, no cranes, no lift system. The ride height, the transportation ride height is 5 inches.
Wow.
Buildable 2 to 2.5 feet taller on your buildings, and basically the frame is the transport. That's the biggest deal. It's basically a game changer. I mean, even the units that we put on RGNs right now, you still have 18 to 24 inches of the RGN deck to the bottom of the frame.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom of the frame is the building. So your RGN's at 5 inches. The bottom of the building's at 5 inches, not the RGN trailer. So it's just a game changer.
So that's allowing me to ship, 10-foot heights.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that get? Like interior heights are 9'6" now.
Yeah.
9'4", something like that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm going to put some pictures up here. So this is the actual frame system here. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Walk us through this frame system, because like you said, the frame itself becomes the structure, becomes basically the band joist for the building. Yes.
Yes. So the red piece is the frame. Then you can see the floor joists, steel or wood, whatever the factory wants to use. And then the 2 end pieces are the transportation piece.
And how does that work? So you deliver a frame, probably, in a cart, flat pack, and you just bolt it together in the factory for your size.
Yeah.
Walk us through the process.
No welding. They order 1 to 200, whatever the project is. You can go from 16 wide to 12 wide, whatever, all the way out to 55 feet as of right now. Engineered to 1,000 pounds a foot. So, you can put a 55,000 pound building there, and it's all about the structure of the frame, so we can haul. And you can, what you see what you can get. You can go as short as you want, up to 55 feet, and all the way out to 16 wide. The transportation piece, it widens out to the frame, hooks onto the frame, transports. When it comes back, it goes down to legal width, and then 2 pieces hook together and you come back.
No kidding.
So we can adjust to any width, and that's, basically you can see the kind of the picture there. The arms are battery hydraulic, and you can just, transformer out to, you want to go 12'6", 12'6". You want to go 13'2", 13'2". We adjust, the front tongue and the back dolly adjust to that, whatever width that the factory needs.
Mm-hmm.
And, it basically the dollies and the tongue will bolt onto the frame. There's no welding on our end, and we can lower it down at the job site. There's air in the truck and the trailer. Put it on 2x4s, 2x6s on the corners. No need for cribbing. We're not raising it up to 36 inches to unload. We just literally drop it down. As long as we have a fairly level piece of ground, crib it up a little bit. And we pull the rear dolly out, the front tongue off, and away we go. We connect them, and we'll go back for another piece. So it's a really incredibly efficient unload process. Saves a ton on the crane costs. And just for me, again, obviously as a transporter, just the lower center of gravity, transporting it's just a much safer ride. Obviously in the Midwest and West, we get into a lot of wind. I'll take hauling this thing 5 inches off the ground in a windy day versus having a home at 32, 34 inches off the ground, and, basically teeter-tottering on an 8'6" wide. This thing's going to be, kind of the commercial wider is better. So yeah, it just all different positives.
So I'm gonna put on my manufacturer's hat, right? And I'm gonna say, all right, Heath, Daryl, listen, I'm a manufacturer. Height is an issue. I build in the New England and California and all across the country. The features and benefits. So I get my kit, I bolt it together, I put it on my table to start framing it out, right?
Mhm.
How do I move this around the factory, and how do I put this out into the yard so you guys can come pick it up?
Yeah, if you had like a roller system or something, basically, I would have pretty much could move it as you do in most factories, currently. We're working on a more of a factory version of our dolly to get it outside the plant, more scaled back, simplified version. Or if you have a combi lift, like a lot of factories do, you can certainly grab it with the combi lift and take it out very easily out into your yard. Again, and once you're in your yard, you're putting it on a couple 2x4s on the ground with scrap that you already have anyway, and it's sitting down nice and low. It's easy if you have to do some finish touch-up work later, you're just, you're stepping right into it. You're not using a ladder. You're not up in the air, teeter-tottering, try to finish something or make a repair. So, yep.
And so does it sit on cribbing in the yard, or when it moves to the yard, how does it sit? And then how do you transport it and then drop it off? Walk us through that process so everybody understands the savings there.
Yeah. So if it would come out of the factory, I mean, you could literally, it doesn't need to be all four corners. You could just put it on a 2x4 or 2x6, just as long as it's just a touch off the ground. That's all you need. It doesn't need to be,
So let me
whatever you want to do.
Yep. Let me hop in right here. The frame structural. So you have to realize you can transport with this up to 55 feet. So right now, when you crib a building, you're cribbing 3-4 places down a side. You literally can crib or block. You don't have to crib, put a 6x6 because there's no reason to be up that high, one on each corner. So that's a huge difference because you realize that the frame structural, we're transporting off the frame. So this frame strong enough to transport with. You're not going to have deflection or anything like that. You just crib on each one of the corners and you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as I have a fairly flat area, which most manufacturers do when they're trying to move their modulars off the production line and staging them outside, you're telling me I could just slap a 2x4 under this. It's a couple inches off the ground. Your system is set so it can hydraulically lower, pick it up, and go with it.
Yes.
And is that the same concept on the job site when you're staging these as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes, same. So I'm also the co-founder of Field Lift Pros. I'm sure you're familiar with Field Lift Pros. I have some of the same technology into this transfer system as I have in those Field Lift Pros. So it's definitely going to be a game changer. The technology's there, everything's there, and it's all integrated into this transportation piece. So you'll be able to, if it's at 5 inches, wherever they drop it off at. I mean, your ride height's 5 inches. Ideally, you're probably going to throw a 6x6 under it. The transport's able to lift or lower, either or. We're going to have 10 inches of lift. Let's say your project's in a field that's not perfectly level, right? You have the same problems with RGNs. You're driving down the road, you come to railroad tracks, you get hung up. We will be able to lift 10 inches on the back and 20 to 25 inches on the front. So we also have in development a fifth wheel portion of the front piece as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A fifth wheel on the front piece as well. Got it.
Instead of a pintle hook, we'll have a fifth wheel coming at some point. So if you took a 80-piece hotel and which we do all the time, and you're picking it up at the factory, we can connect it ourselves. We don't need any assistance from the factory. Pick it up, a couple inches, deliver it to the staging yard for the hotel, apartment, whatever the project may be. Again, put it on some 2x4s, 4x4s, 6x6s. It doesn't matter. Drop it down a couple inches. Pull our, the rear dolly, the front tongue off. Connect them. Go back. We can stack, 80 pieces in a field or a parking lot or whatever the case may be. When it comes crane day, same thing. We just reconnect, take it to the end site. The crane picks it off. We just disconnect, off we go, and just rotate. Like we do now with like, the trailers, the 32, 34-inch trailers that we use now. So it'll, the speed of it, the safety of it, the cost savings of not needing any kind of assistance to load and unload. Obviously, at the foundation, we'll need a crane to put it on the foundation, but we haven't figured a way out around that one yet, but we'll work on it. So.
Does it reduce my transportation costs now that I actually own the trailer part almost, except for the wheels?
Yeah, it's probably comparable to what we do, but I think the savings there's savings there, especially on the storage yards and the.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you're
trading crane costs. I mean,
for the lumber.
Yeah, we're just cribbing.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, I have jobs that I've had. The cribbing budget is $400,000. I mean, it's just insane. Something you get a giant project and you need 1,500 cribs.
Sure.
And just handling them, and again,
Right.
my crib is a great invention, but still, they're just there's a lot to it. So this eliminates all that. So.
Yeah, and it works across the industry, whether, like you said, it's residential, multifamily, commercial, steel, wood, doesn't matter to you guys. Data centers. I mean, now they can actually build mobile data centers larger and with more stuff in it if you can go higher, right?
Right. You gain 2 foot of height. Why not? And weight wise, like he said, we could go up to 55,000 pounds. That's a stout little building right now. And, we're working on going longer, but that's where, as of today, that's what we can do. So.
Sure. Sure.
And,
I love it. So let's talk about it. All right, now we have it on site. I have a set day, right? I mean, there are times you'll have to leave the wheels the day of the set, right? If I have to drive it down the road 2 miles to get to where I'm going. But for a lot of the large commercial sites where it's 80 units, 200 units, 300 units, they usually have a large staging area right there at the site or close to it. But you could just have one system that runs and hooks up, picks them up, and has the toter truck bring them in, right?
Yep. I mean, kind of similar to what we do, but I think it'd be faster. I mean, if we're setting a large, setting 10 to 12 boxes a day, maybe it takes 2 to 3 trucks, depending on the distance we're going. But basically, kind of same idea here. We can do it. I think even faster than what we do loading. Currently, the current way we do it. So. Yep.
Yeah, you got 2 hookup points. You have the front and the back. You're not running straps. You're not tying it to a trailer. You're not doing any of that. It's pinned basically to the trailer, and when the second you hook up and you go. Yeah,
excellent point. Yeah, we're not strapping them down to our carriers or frames because it is the frame. So we're just bolting the arms into the frame, and we're good to go. So again, excellent point. Really, you're not lagging them. You're not top strapping them. You're not bottom strapping them. That all goes away completely. So. There's a huge time save right there.
Are they I-beams or are they like square beams?
No, they're I-beams.
They're I-beams.
Mm-hmm.
They're I-beams. And then let's talk about the pick and set on these things, right? So now they're on site. With a wood beam, they usually drill holes through, get the balance right for the crane, and then run their cables through or their straps through. Same concept with this. Than you don't have to drill steel, I hope.
Yep, same concept. We'll have holes in the I-beams so they can run their straps through.
Yeah. What am I missing? What's the downside to this system? It's got to be something.
Well, it's different, and I think that's in our industry maybe is lagged to embrace new things. But hopefully, it's going to be it's different. It's going to take a little thought, but I feel like we have an excellent system and as we progress and the industry progresses, we'll be right there to meet the new demands. But
sure.
Yeah, do it over and over and expect the same result, but let's do it a little different and get a better result. So,
yeah. Well, listen, as a recovering modular builder of over 20 years, I will tell you that, especially in New England, this solves a lot of our problems, especially for customers who want 9-foot, 10-foot ceilings. Where along the coast we have to go onto the old train tracks or run across the up the coast and everything. You can't get underneath the train trestles. This solves a lot of problems and actually gives the builders out there that are building more options for their clients. So it's not just for the factory; it's for the person that actually sold that job too. The GC, the general contractor, right? Able to have that design flexibility and give the customer more options.
Yeah, exactly. Then we can build what we want, but people have to buy it. And if we give them what they want or, a better option, then hopefully the industry will grow. Another thing this can do, like even like ADUs, tiny homes, even on like the HUD residential side. I mean, you could, even if you don't go, use up all your space in your ceiling height, maybe you could do a 512 or a 712 fixed now, where before you had a hinged roof and you had that cost and expense on site. By lowering it down, you can, maybe do a higher pitch, basically as a fixed roof system. So there's another advantage to that, or there's lots of options, like ADUs and tiny homes. I mean, you want every inch of space inside of those things you can get. So this would be perfectly suited for those also.
Yeah, 100%. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to also, I'm the transportation part of this, but we have a team along with Daryl and I, Kevin Lockhart, Eric Scott, and Peter Ships. And Kevin's the one that came to me to build a transportation piece. And that's how I got Daryl involved. And so we have a team behind us that on the building side, which Daryl and I don't know as much of, they take that to the next level. So there's all of us on board here. So it's a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, we all have different areas of expertise. Put us all together. I think we've got a great, excellent team. So
and Daryl, I mean, you ship transport nationwide, so it's not just you're on one side of the state. You have trucks. I mean, you have a place here in PA where I'm at, don't you?
Yep. And that brings a good point. This is not just for specialized.
Yeah,
I'm glad you kind of said that. This is not something that this is open to,
every transportation.
Yeah. Anybody out there, Crosby, Westervelt, Bennett. I mean, this is not we're not doing this to try to hoard it to ourselves. This is, the industry grows, there's work for everybody. So, we're collaboration amongst all of us. This is not something that we're trying to
keep for ourselves.
You know what? I mean, I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you brought it up, right? Because, I mean, that's probably the most important thing. If we're truly going to change this industry, we need to collaborate. We need to work together. You have an idea, and it's an idea that I think is worth exploring. I think it's an idea that factories are going to love. And I think with that said, the transportation companies in those areas are going to love it as well, right? Because they can disconnect and leave. They don't have to leave their carriers.
Yeah. I was talking to a factory in the South last night talking about carriers and the cost to repair them and axles, and just getting away from, mobile home tires and axles. I mean, we all know it's not great. Like it is what we have, but this is a better way. It's a safer way. As a transporter, I want to haul whatever I'm hauling down the road as safely as possible for my drivers and the public in general. And this is a better, safer way. We're using, real axles, real tires, it's just so much better. So, but yeah, this is open to, any other transporter out there, big or small, this is for everybody. So, yep.
So if I'm cruising across, Interstate 10 along the Florida coast through, Louisiana, all the way out towards Texas, that's a ride that'll knock your teeth out if you're in a truck, right? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I've been across it several times. How do you adjust for that? 5 inches off the ground is not much. Do you raise it when you're transporting a little bit if you have a rough road? Can you control that?
You can. Yes, you can do that. Yep.
So my frame on my house does not get damaged no matter what. It's always going to be high enough that we don't have to worry about that. I mean, even going over a hump in a hill, if you're a long trailer, you could raise that height to get over a hill, I'm assuming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But just to say structurally, that frame's not going to get hurt if it bumps off something either. And it's not going to hurt the house.
Yeah.
It's not your typical mobile home frame, Paco I-beam. It's not what it is. So you got to look at it that way. It's structural, and it can handle it. You're going to get the least amount, 1.5 inch deflection, 2 inch deflection going down the road at the most. You got your building needs to get there in good shape. So that's how we've developed it.
I mean, hey, listen, and if you're a coastal builder on the hurricane side of things and you get 1 or 2 pilings knocked out, this thing can span the whole way across. Your whole house isn't going to sag in the middle. I love it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many different ways you can look at it. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Putting homes up on stilts or frames. I mean, you can literally do the corners and call it good. There's all kinds of opportunities and
Right.
different applications that this would work for. So, yep.
Well,
Yeah.
I love it. You guys are going to be at World of Modular in Vegas next week, right?
Yep. We'll get the specialized Uniframe booth. Yeah. So Heath, myself, Kevin and Eric will all be there. Be happy to answer any questions you have, and just love to hear the feedback. And yeah, let's
Yeah, you hear it there. If you're going to be at World of Modular next week in Las Vegas at the Bellagio Hotel, make sure you stop by, visit them, and check them out, see all the things they're doing. You guys are both leaders in this industry, and guess what? Building the modules is only one portion of it. Getting them to where they got to go is the bigger portion. Because I can build one in my backyard, but you ain't going to drive it out of there. It's in the woods, right? And I think that's super important. Yeah, and on top of that, that's right. And on top of that, is this available for people right now, or talk to me about that?
Yeah,
can I get this tomorrow, please?
Maybe day after tomorrow, but yeah, real soon. So yeah, we're working on the prototype and getting it rolling. So yeah,
I'd say 60 days or less.
Yeah,
60 days or less. Perfect. So it's almost completed. You guys have a website here, uniframe.com. I'll put that up on the ticker below as well. But they can go here, and I see there's a reserve a spot section. So if you're out there and you're interested in this system, you can just go right to their website. If you're not going to be at World of Modular, reserve your spot, or just set up a phone call so you guys can all connect and talk shop on how we can deliver these things better and build them better. So did I miss anything, fellas?
I don't think so.
I think it was great. Appreciate it, the time. So
yeah, no, we appreciate it as well. All right, guys, don't go anywhere. But for the rest of you out there, stick around. I'll come back to Heath and Daryl after the show. Listen, World of Modular's next week, and you're right. We're going to be at World of Modular. So look us up. Send us a DM. You want to be on the show? Pull out your phone. Take a picture of that QR code. It'll put you where you need to be. And as always, if you want to help support the Dave Cooper Live Show, we always love your support. This is not a pay to play. We are here to service all of you out there that are trying to build it better, trying to stay on top of all the newest, greatest, and latest innovations that are happening in the industry across offsite, not just modular, technology, capital, all of it. It's going to take all of us to make it happen. All right, everybody, it's Wednesday. You still got 2.5 days to keep building it better. And then you got to take some time with your family on the weekend. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching. What an amazing show. Thank you to all of our sponsors for helping us to continue to bring all of these innovative conversations to all of you out there. Please visit them, see what they have to offer you. And as always, subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring that bell. It would mean the world to us. I'm Dave Cooper. Thanks for watching.